So I know we only did one example in the last video, and you definitely need more, but I like to keep the videos kind of in a certain number of minutes, so I cut it off there. But let's look at some more examples of setting up this cardinality. I'm just going to erase so we can see B here again. I'm going to start with my natural numbers. The natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, and you can go down to as many as you want to. Let's go down 5 this time. You can choose, and the natural numbers do keep going forever and ever and ever, so I have that ellipse, the dot, dot, dot. Then I'm going to set up the numbers I'm given here. 3, 6, 9, 12. I know it's not listed, but the next number would be 15. Those are the multiples of 3 that I've got right there in that set. You might be thinking, the multiples of 3 have to be less. They don't have the number 1 and 2 and 4 and 5 and 7 and 8. But you know what? They actually are the same size. They are both LF null. The cardinality for both of these is the same. They're both countably infinite. So I've got to figure out that little formula at the end. I'm always starting with n, and I want to know how I get n to turn into that other set. So how did I get, oops, I forgot my little arrows here. 1 to turn into 3, 2 to turn into 6, 4 to turn into 12. And since these are the multiples of 3, it made me think I need to multiply them together. And actually there's a little trick, so I'll go ahead and show you. Anytime we're counting, like skipping our counting, skip counting here, we're counting by 3s. I'm going to use that. So that's going to be 3n. And there I go right there. There's that little formula that we're looking for at the end that tells me to find the next number in the list. Maybe I wanted to find the 2,000th number. I could just say 3 times 2,000 and that would give me 6,000. So 2,000 would get paired with 6,000 in this correspondence. I don't want to go that high. That's why I use a little formula to do that. And just to remind you, we do need 1, 2, 3 pieces to these to get full credit. I don't want anybody to get lost any points there, so make sure everybody's got that. All right, C is a little bit trickier. I'll be honest, I'm going to kind of combine what we did in A and B here. Again, I'm going to start with the natural numbers. It does not matter how many you start with. I'm going to take my pair here, and I'm going to pair them up. You get some points if you even do this. So, you know, if you can't figure out the N thing, hey, just do this. Get some partial credit down there. I'm going to compare it in. I'm going to pair it up with, I don't know, I've got to do a little bit of work to get this one. Now, like I said in part B, if we're skip counting, we need to take that into account. So each one of these, I added 2. 15 plus 2 is 17. 17 plus 2 is 19. So I'm going to start with 2n. That is not my final answer, but that is going to give me something to start with. So I'm going to start with 2n. Let's say n is 1. So we're going to be looking at this first line right here. When n is 1, my answer should be 15. That's what this says over here. When n is 1, my answer should be 15. But if I plug in 1, I get out the answer 2. So how do I get 2 to turn into 15? I add 13. So 2n plus 13. The 2n that I started with and what I needed it to become. I've got another one like this one. So let's look at another one. If you think you want to try D, go for it. It works just like C. I've got another one at the end for you to try as well. So if you don't think you're ready to try it, just go ahead. You don't have to hit pause and we can go ahead and watch it. But if you think you're ready, you could try D. It does work just like C here. I'm going to take my natural numbers. I'm going to pair them up first. Come back to that. Again, the number that you put down doesn't matter. I'm going to pair those guys up. Now it looks like this time I'm adding 3 each time. So I'm adding 3 of them each time. So that means I'm going to start with 3n. So I'm going to have n is going to be going to 3n. So let's see what I have. Again, that's my first line. If I plug in 1, I need the answer to be 11. The answer is supposed to be 11. But if I plug in 1, right now the answer is just 3. So to get 3 to turn into 11, we add 8. So 3n plus 8. And like I said, I've got one for us to try at the end. But if you need to rewatch C and D, feel free to rewind it and rewatch those, and we'll try another one at the end.